we have now got the races set in all the major races across the country. Tim Walz has been named the running mate for Vice President Harris, so it will be a Harris-Walz ticket for the Democrats. Joining us now is the Republican nominee from Arizona for the United States Senate, Kari Lake. Kari, congratulations on your primary victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
Let's dig in there. Let's start there with the primary. Right after this happened, it was Karen Taylor Robeson came out and endorsed you. I saw the video on Instagram where Mark Lamb came out and said we've got to unify. Let's talk about unity because they're making a big deal about these Republicans for Harris and the never Trumpers. Can you talk a little bit about unity in Arizona and how you feel? Is there unity in the party?
I actually think there's not only unity in the party. I think that as a population, we're much more unified than, the typical legacy media says we are. They think about it. They have to keep us kind of at each other's throats to make a dollar and keep you sitting in front of the TV screen or reading the newspaper. But I'm out there talking to more people in Arizona probably than anybody else in the state. And I see independents that are voting for America First candidates and saying we've got to make a change. I'm seeing a lot of Democrats who are just done with the party. They say, if this is what the Democrat Party looks like, I don't want anything to do with it. So I actually think we are very unified and coming together rapidly as, unfortunately, things get so tough for everybody where the economy's in shambles, the border's in shambles, our streets aren't safe, we're teetering into World War III. People are really waking up to it. So, listen, there's always going to be a few people in the party that just say, we're not going to go that direction. We want to go a different direction. But I will tell you, there are far more Democrats who are coming over our direction than Republicans who are abandoning it.
You just mentioned three big issues. You mentioned the border, you mentioned the economy, and you mentioned the wars that are happening around the world. Are those the issues that need to be driven home? Is that what you will focus on in your campaign?
Yes, and I've been focusing on the issues the whole time. I really have been. The border is paramount. It's incredibly important that we secure the border. We know how to do it. We have an incredible candidate at the top of the ticket named Donald Trump who has already secured the border. And I don't think there's any doubt, even with people who don't support him, that he will come in and secure the border. We know without a doubt that the folks who are running on the Democrat side, between my opponent, Ruben Gallego, and Kamala Harris, that they will not secure the border. They will continue with what they're doing, which would mean free-for-all. Anybody can come over, unvetted. Terrorists, right now, we know they located 250 terrorists and let about 100 of them go. So they're roaming around our country right now. We know the fentanyl crisis will only get worse. So it's a really stark, clear defining and dividing line between the two of us. We're going to make sure we secure the border. They will not. When it comes to the economy, I'm venturing to say that everybody out there listening, whether you're driving to work or you're at work or at home, you are struggling more because of this economy than you were 4 or 5 years ago. And we can bring that back. And I know that President Trump has a plan to do that. I support that plan. And we just want to have safe streets. And the other thing, being a mom, I'm going to just be a little selfish right now. I'm looking out for my kids, and I've got a 19 and 21-year-old. We're pricing this generation out of the American dream. I say American dream, but I just mean American life because they can't afford anything. I'm not even talking about a dream, home. I'm talking about just a home and rent. We're competing with people here illegally. It's causing the price of everything, including our rent and homes, to go up. And I'm really worried about this young generation being able to get a running start toward their future.
Republican candidate for Senate, Kari Lake, is joining us. Congressman Gallego has been running ads introducing himself to Arizona for a while now. And in those ads, he talks about being a Marine and how he was raised by a single mother, sacrificed for country, sacrificed for things. How do you go after Congressman Gallego? Is it his record? What are you going after to say that you're a better choice than him for this Senate seat?
Well, he does have a record. It's a mile long, and it's terrible. It's a record that has set us on this collision course with absolute catastrophic disaster that we're on right now. I'm venturing to guess that your listeners don't agree with what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have done over the past 3.5 years And if they do agree, they don't agree with 100% of it. But Ruben Gallego does. He has supported literally 100% of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's agenda. I don't think there's another congressman who's done that. He's their favorite congressman. I'm talking about he's for the open borders. He supports sanctuary cities. He actually marched to defund the police rallies. He supported legislation, voted for legislation, which has led to the highest spike in inflation and making Arizona, which used to be affordable, no longer an affordable place to live. We know that therefore banning offshore oil and gas exploration and drilling and horizontal drilling, which is fracking. They want to eliminate private health insurance, supporting mandatory buyback programs for our guns. They do not support the Second Amendment. And, encouraging the anti-police riots of 2020. We know that Kamala Harris did that. We know that not only did Ruben Gallego do that, he actually marched in some of those rallies, which were encouraging violence on our streets and defunding the police. And he even wanted to get rid of the filibuster. And thank God for Kirsten Sinema. That's her legacy, and I know she's very proud of that. He wanted to get rid of the filibuster for everything, including passing that George Floyd legislation, which would have defunded the police nationwide. Mike, you don't have enough time on your show for me to lay out all the bad votes and bad decisions that Ruben Gallego has made. So I will be going after that. I'm not going to go after his service to our country. I think that's very admirable, and I respect that. But I don't respect any of his votes. I don't respect what he has been about in the House of Representatives. In his district, the homeless population is the fastest growing anywhere in the country. That means in his district, there's bigger homeless populations growing faster than even on Skid Row or San Francisco or Portland. And this is not sustainable. We need to bring back quality of life. We need to bring back law and order, safe streets, and a great education. They want to trap our kids in these failing schools. I support, as we know here in Arizona, not only having our state tax money follow the student so that they can go to the best school that best fits them, but I want to make sure when I get into the Senate that our federal dollars, which are carved out for the students, not some school, they follow the students as well.
Kari, I always appreciate the time, and I look forward to talking to you again between now and November, and I wish you the best. And I hadn't talked to you since you won the primary. I wanted to say congratulations, and I appreciate the time with the listeners this morning.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, and have a great day, everybody.
All right, that is Kari Lake speaking to us for a few minutes.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Catch up on Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast, and click the button in the middle to subscribe.